millions of people who've taken up online poker, there's a pretty good chance you're being cheated on a regular basis. That, according to a man who may be the most successful gambling cheat ever. Richard Marcus knew every trick in the book when it came to fleecing the casinos. He retired without ever getting caught and is now warning poker players about what they're up against. Marcus spoke exclusively with George Knapp of the I-Team. George.
Dave, you've probably heard this one. There's an old saying about poker: if you can't spot the sucker at the table, then the sucker is probably you. Considering how much money is involved in poker these days, Richard Marcus says it's entirely possible someone will shoot him for revealing that poker, despite its popularity, is crooked. It's rigged, both the online games and the live tournaments in Las Vegas casinos. He says he's written a new book called Dirty Poker, in which he lays out the sordid details. Here are a few of them.
I am not an angel. I am certainly not a saint. I am a thief. I am a cheater.
Richard Marcus may be the most successful gambling cheat in history. For 25 years, he prowled casinos in Las Vegas and around the world, looking for ways to separate the house from its money. Craps, roulette, blackjack, and baccarat were his best games. He raked in a bundle, but is cagey about how much.
Does the IRS listen to your...
You've got an idea, though.
Yeah, it's a considerable amount of money. Well, I was doing well.
He left the racket a few years ago, but stays in touch with his fellow cheaters from the old days, many of whom now have a new line of work: poker players. Just a few years ago, casinos were taking out their poker rooms so they could install more slot machines. But suddenly, poker is hot. At any given time, there's a tournament or two on television. Players have become celebrities. Celebrities have become players. Hottest of all is online poker, now a $12 billion industry, even though it isn't quite legal in the U.S. With so many new players pulling up a chair, widespread cheating is inevitable, says Marcus.
Online it's just a river full of suckers. If you don't cheat, you're a sucker online.
How's it done, and how does he know? Because some of the same techniques that worked in the casinos work online, too. One of them is an oldie but a goodie: collusion, where players secretly work as a team.
They're using multiple internet providers, multiple IPs. They're establishing accounts with different addresses. The collusion can happen. You could be colluding. You could be sitting in China, and I could be sitting in Las Vegas, and we're working together.
Marcus says some cheats set up a room with 8 or more computers and pretend to be 8 different people. But it's one person who sees the cards in all the other hands, a huge advantage. The use of so-called bots, short for robots, poker-playing computer software, is also more common than online companies want to admit. The internet sites use their own bots to fill up tables at times. One company was shut down because its bots had the ability to see everyone else's cards. The internet poker industry assures players that bots simply aren't sophisticated enough to beat humans. Marcus scoffs.
The online sites, they say that they can monitor everybody's play and know if somebody's using a bot, and then they freeze their account and they get thrown off the site and all that. But that's a bunch of bullcrap.
But the biggest threat to the integrity of online poker comes from hackers. Marcus says he knows computer whizzes who've managed to penetrate the security software of online sites, which allows the hackers to see their opponent's hole cards. Not many people can pull this off, but he says he's seen it done, and that hackers will always find a way to defeat defense mechanisms. Marcus thinks the writing is on the wall for online poker.
I will sit here and tell you right now that in 10 years there won't be any more online poker, because the cheating with the robots and all the equipment and you have the same hackers that hack into bank accounts and all that. These are the people that are now breaking into the systems, and you're not going to have any online, because the honest players are just going to see that they just can't win anymore. And before it ends, it's going to be computers against computers. You're going to have a whole online table, and there's not one human playing. And I'm not kidding you.
Marcus advises that anyone who plays online poker should stick to the small stakes games, because the cheaters are less likely to go after a small pot. Tomorrow at 5, Marcus really unloads with some nasty secrets about Las Vegas poker rooms and some of the biggest names in gambling. His new book, Dirty Poker, will not be released until March 15th, but you can find a link to this on our website, KLASTV.com. He says basically the larger online poker sites are safer, but even those are not foolproof.
And he never got caught.
Never got caught. He's a pretty smart
He's
guy.
pretty convincing, I'll say that. All right, George.
Trust everyone, but cut the cards. The old saying is still good advice for new poker players.
One of the world's most successful card cheats, retired thief Richard Marcus says while poker is riding a wave of popularity and glamour, it's still just as crooked as in the Old West because of online cheater syndicates.
Marcus spoke exclusively with George Knapp of the Channel 8 I-Team.
Somebody might kill me, George. Somebody might kill me.
For 25 years, Richard Marcus was the smoothest casino cheat in town, maybe in the world. He can still walk into a gambling hall, even a poker room, and not draw much attention. But that's about to change.
Oh, it's about time that somebody said what's really going on.
What's going on, according to this self-described thief, is a whole lot of cheating. Poker, Marcus says, is rigged, as crooked as a marked deck or an ace up the sleeve. Marcus has written it all down in a book, Dirty Poker, and expects his expose to blow the roof off this suddenly red-hot game.
Or to TJ with pocket five.
Poker showdowns are on television pretty much round the clock. Online poker rooms are booming. Hordes of computer players flock to Las Vegas to test their mettle in live games against the best. The biggest tournaments now need vast warehouses to accommodate tens of thousands of entrants. And Hollywood celebrities add a splash of glamour to games once played in seedy, smoke-filled rooms. What tipped off Marcus that something was fishy?
Because some ex-poker players who are now household names actually worked with me in cheating casinos when they were broke, before they got famous, before this craze. So as soon as I walk into the casino and I see them and I recognize these guys, I know they're cheaters.
How's it done? You name it, he says. The time-honored tactic of marking cards is still alive, but with a twist.
People use what's called daub. They daub the cards with solution that not only is invisible unless you're wearing certain kind of contact lenses, but it disappears. The top-of-the-line solution disappears and doesn't leave a trace.
Some players gain an advantage by slipping counterfeit chips into the stacks. Some use personal computers to calculate the odds. But the primary way to cheat, Marcus says, is as old as the game itself, collusion, working with a secret partner, or 2 or 10. Marcus says it happens in every card room in Las Vegas, even during major tournaments.
The cheating that's going on is, it's like syndicates. It's organized.
Essential to collusion is communication. A player needs to know what cards his partner is holding. Ever watch the constant stacking, restacking, and movement of poker chips? Marcus says this is one of the best ways cheaters signal each other. One system uses cards like the face of a clock. Putting a chip in a certain place tells someone what's in your hand.
They only do it for a split second. It's like, you know what it's like? It's like in baseball where you have a third base coach giving the signals, but only one of them means something. So it's the same thing. They're going like this, they're going like this, and all of a sudden for a split second, he drops 2 chips off for a split second like that, ace-king offsuit. Over here, ace-jack offsuit. But the point is, he's doing all this with the chips that nobody ever... And they only have to do it once.
And there are verbal signals.
If there's a big pot going on, and I say to the dealer, would you send me a cocktail waitress over here, please? That I could be telling you on the other end that, okay, I just made a full house.
Plenty of honest players must know about it, but don't say anything, Marcus says, because for one thing, collusion is almost impossible to prove. But the card sharks of Las Vegas are only too happy to fleece the naive newcomers to the game.
To me, believe it or not, in spite of the fact of who I am, that bothers me. And I can't stomach it. I can't stomach 8- and 9-year-old kids talking about poker players like the heroes when they're nothing but gamblers and cheaters.
George Knapp, Channel 8 Eyewitness News.
And Richard Marcus says that casinos don't police poker too closely because the money being gambled doesn't belong to the house. The best way to keep from being cheated, he says, is to learn the tricks yourself and be able to spot them. His book, Dirty Poker, will be released in mid-March. You can find a link to it on our website, KLASTV.com.